Kasibante Robert, the former presidential candidate on the ticket of the National Peasants Party.
Yes.
Since the elections ended, what have you been up to?
I've been around. I've been following up the politics of Uganda. We are organizing the party to see how best we can do and how best we can help the peasants. More so, those peasants who are in prisons, we are coming up with a solution to see how best we can help them get out of prison, because politics is done.
Politics is done. Did you concede the results?
I didn't, and that's why I took I petitioned against General Museveni. But finally, after petitioning General Museveni, because I had no funds to facilitate the case, so that's why I withdrew the case.
How many supporters do you have?
I have.
As the National Peasants
I have.
Party?
Almost, because I represent the peasants, and I believe almost half of the country is peasants. Yes, so they are behind me, and I believe they support me.
So when you look at what has been transpiring since the elections were concluded in January, what do you make of the situation?
The country is not that good, and the country is not that managed well, because when you look at how General Museveni talks about corruption, how General Museveni is talking about PDM and what have you, and how the government officials are taking peasants' funds, the taxpayers' money, we believe the country is not that managed well. And in a country where there is no system, you cannot fight corruption, because corruption can only be fought by a system. And if there is no system, that's why we are messing up.
Which system would you want to be in place in order to curb
the rule
corruption?
of law. Let the rule of law.
The rule of law, everybody will say that it exists.
Let it be respected, because now, when you look at how people now the talks which are on the country, they are saying General Muhoozi has been arresting corruption, what, but he's not the right person to fight corruption. For him, he is the head of army, and we believe let those institutions work as they are mandated to do what is supposed to be done.
If you are the president, what would you do in order to stamp out corruption?
I would respect the institutions.
How?
By letting them do what is supposed to be done.
What is that?
Now, look at the anti-corruption unit and the IGG. After investigation, what is done? When they put people in the prison, why do they have to come out and they plead to the president, and then the president forgives them? They have taken taxpayers' money.
The president previously complained that actually every time, recently when they were in Chankwanzi, he told the NRM members of parliament that actually the major problem or the challenge that he faces is that every time they arrest someone who is an official in government, groups, different leagues from different regions come pleading that our person, please pardon. But this time around, he said, no more pardoning the corrupt.
Is that what is supposed to be done? Is that how corrupt people are supposed to go and plead and the religious leaders do? What happens in other countries? Do they do that also? Because if a country has a system, we don't have even to see the president. For what?
Do you believe when President Museveni says that this is Chisanja, no sleep, he means what he's saying?
No, he has always said that. You know, me, I'm 37 years old. I've been here. I've seen how, I've been watching and I've been following his speeches. So I don't believe that he's going to do what he's talking about.
What do you make of the current cabinet that President Museveni just recently chose?
He has a few whom I believe that they can work. Even when I'm president, I can appoint them.
Rate the cabinet out of 10.
3 out of 10.
Why be that mean with your rating?
Because you look at the cabinet is full of people who have been in the system. These are relatives. They fought with them. They did what? You understand?
Someone will argue that an older broom knows all the corners.
Those are sayings, but we are now talking about the actions.
Someone imagines that after the elections, you could be pushing an agenda to ensure that government gets back on track where you want to see it. What are you doing about it?
I'm trying to sensitize the peasants. Like I've said, even before that, I have to first get out. I have to first fight for these who are in prisons to get out, because they are not working. their kids and whatever they are at home.
So in other words, ever since elections were concluded, you seem to be suggesting that you have not done anything other than wait for those who are in prison to first come out.
Oh, I've done some because you know what I've been doing. I took Museveni to court after that.
No, you withdrew, so it doesn't make sense.
Yes, but I did. I tried, like how which Jagulanyi did, and you see how you heard how the reaction was, and beside that, the National Peasants Party is a new party. I'm trying to make the structures.
What relationship do you have with other opposition parties?
We communicate.
How?
We talk and we meet some of them, those who have belief like the way I believe, those who love their country, and those who are on the right track.
Who are those who are on the right track?
I believe that there are some oppositions who are not real oppositions.
Who are those?
I cannot mention, but
Why are you scared?
when I talk about that, they know what I'm trying to mean.
You understand that National Unity Platform is the top opposition party in Uganda. What relationship do you have with them?
Not that much, but we communicate.
When was the last time you spoke to the president of the National Unity Platform?
I don't talk to the president regularly, but I talk to the SG, the Secretary General.
At some point, you were seen also recording videos saying you're also in the bush, just like Chagulanyi used to share clips when the police were looking for him. What were you up to?
Petitioning General Museveni, after withdrawing the case, there is a certain group of mafias, group of people, I mean NRM, who said that I cannot petition General Museveni. They were looking for me. They wanted to do bad things about me. So I had to rush and get out of the country.
Were you in Uganda or outside Uganda?
I was somewhere.
So did you report to police that actually your life was in danger?
Of course they know I did that because
You have a reference to that?
I have everything. I have the evidence of everything. They know even because I'm not a normal person. I'm a former presidential candidate. I'm a diplomat. I know what I'm talking about.
So how did you come to a conclusion that actually your life is no longer in danger?
I have intelligence. You cannot be a presidential candidate. You want to manage a country. You want to rule a country.
Intelligence in the forces? Intelligence from where?
My own intelligence. I have a team who gives me report of what is taking place. Because even in the army, we have friends in the different institutions of the government.
So if you were given a chance and you became the president of Uganda, and you are the one sworn in, what would be your top 5 priorities?
One, I would first of all fight corruption. I would arrest whoever has taken taxpayers' money, and I would sell their properties. Secondly, I would reduce on the number of RDCs, the advisors, because you have seen there are many. Even the number of ministers are many. You saw what happened the last time in the parliament. The members of parliament could not fit even in the parliament.
What would be the process?
I could go through the parliament using because when you are president, you have the full power and the full authority to do things so long as they are helping the peasants and they are helping the community and they are helping your country.
So in other words, you do be assertive and not all dictate what should be done.
Sometimes there are areas where you have to dictate if you want something to come out properly. If you are the head, there are times where you have to dictate.
How different would you be from President Museveni, who you call a dictator?
Remember when I was studying history, they said, if you only apply force when diplomacy has failed. Sometimes when you are so down, when you are so humble, and when you are so listening, you cannot manage some individuals. So at times you have to use force.
Thank you so much for according us your time.
You're welcome.